Good morning, Hope Church. I hope you're well. I enjoyed hearing Isaac last week. Well, actually, I've enjoyed hearing all of our Sunday messages. But Isaac last week I thought was really, really good in the way that he talked about a new sound from God, hearing God. And I think it was interesting that within minutes of having listened to his message, I then came across on the internet the video, The Blessing UK, which I know a number of you have watched and been immensely blessed by. If you haven't yet seen it, I'd encourage you to go onto YouTube and search for The Blessing UK and watch it. It is phenomenal. It is actually typical of what Isaac was talking about in terms of the sound that God is sending out across our nation right now. It's a collaborative effort of a whole range of worship leaders from different Christian streams and denominations singing together a song of blessing over the UK. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace, is where it's taken from in Numbers 6:24, where God says to Moses, tell Aaron to bless the people. And I am absolutely staggered by that video. I think it's phenomenal. And the tagline to it is, our buildings may be closed, but the church is alive. Because you may well have heard in the news or seen in the newspapers the fact that they're reporting churches are closed. Now, to them, churches are building, churches are service, churches are closed. But we know that church is not a building. Church is not a service that we go to. Church is the people, and we are not closed. We may be in lockdown, but we are very much free, alive. We may be meeting in a different way, but we are experiencing God. These are certainly different times, but they're interesting. Something came to mind a little while ago during this time of lockdown. And it reminded me when a few of us went to prayer and fasting back in 2009. And Ginny Bergin from Sheffield prophesied. And it was a phenomenal prophecy. Ginny Bergin has real stature as a prophetic person. Think Julian Adams, Gordon Hazelton, Ginny Bergin is up there. She is phenomenal. And I actually quoted that prophetic word in 2010 when I preached. Now, don't worry, I don't expect you to remember it. You might not have been here in 2010. You might not have remembered hearing it, and that's fine, I understand. But it was just after the Chilean miners had been rescued, just to give you an idea of where it is in time. And it was around the time that the volcano erupted in Iceland and totally decimated air travel. Planes couldn't take off, planes couldn't fly, people couldn't travel. And Lord Adonis appeared on a TV program and used the word unprecedented in terms of the travel crisis. Now, unprecedented is a word that I'm hearing a lot lately. And in fact, actually, I'm probably hearing an unprecedented use of the word unprecedented. But it did bring back that prophetic word to mind. And some of you might never have heard it. And for some of you, it might be a new thing. For some of you, it might be bringing it back to your remembrance. But I'd like to read it to you and just throw in some things that might be relevant to us as a people now. And it says this. Ginny started off the prophetic word, bearing in mind this is 2009, that's 11 years ago. She said this, I just feel God saying, in yet a little while I will shake the heavens and the earth, and that which cannot be shaken will remain. I have not spoken these things to you because you do not hear. I have spoken these things to you to underline my promises to you at this time. I've spoken these things to you that you may write them on the depths of your heart. I've spoken these things to you so that you may know that which cannot be shaken will be that which remains. For a shaking is coming into this nation, says the Lord. For it is time for this nation to seek the Lord. And I tell you that that which has been unprecedented is the beginning of many unprecedented things which will happen in this nation. For I tell you, great challenges will come. Challenges that challenge every part of where a person puts their security. For even as shoppers go out in their materialism, they will be faced with eternity. Even as many celebrate international sporting events, they will be faced with eternity. For I tell you, it is now a time for this nation to begin to seek the Lord. And I tell you, unprecedented things will happen in government. Unprecedented things will happen in the heavens over the nation. And that's one of the things that I focused in on, because unprecedented things in the skies over our nation, what would that mean? And then suddenly, a year after that prophetic word was given in 2010, all the planes are grounded. Unprecedented things will happen in the heavens over this nation. For I tell you, I'm about to move in this nation in a way that has not been seen in your day. And I tell you that I'll underline about a new address. I underline about a new way of being. I underline all these things in your hearts today because the way you have known church will change, says the Lord. The way you have known church will suddenly be church in a different way. It'll be as I build my church. It will be as I cause you to be flung into the arena in a way that you have not known before. For I tell you, even as Joseph stood and fed the nations, he knew what it was to have been down the pit. He knew what it was to have been spent time in the dungeons. I tell you, my people, I am for you. I am with you. But I speak to you of a shaking in this nation that is to come. But I want to speak to you about a time of blessing upon your churches that is coming. And I want to tell you about the opportunities that you will have with those that are not even those who know my name. You will have opportunities, and they will give you opportunities, and they will give you finances, and they will give you places to meet, and they will give you openings that are startling. But as that time closes, you will know things begin to happen in this nation. And I tell you these things because I want you to see that the time is coming for my church to rise up. And I tell you, you will meet with people who know my name, who you never thought you would meet with. You will fellowship with those who you never thought you would fellowship with, and you will sing together of my name with those who you never knew you would sing with. For I tell you, my church will arise in this nation, and that which is spoken of spirit and word, will be meshed and melted together in the reality of church in action in this nation. For I tell you, I will build my church, and nothing will prevail against it. And I will build you, my people, and I will put into your hearts, into your spirits, my word. By faith, I speak my word into you. There's a little bit more, but I'm going to cut it short then. But I thought it was important that we get to hear again the words of that prophetic word because it's relevant for our time now. We're in a season where, in a recent survey, 25% of the people surveyed said that they tuned in to an online church service. Joel Virgo, who heads up the eldership team in Emmanuel Church in Brighton, normally sees 1,000 individual hits to their church service. In recent Sundays, it's gone up to over 2,000, which ties in with what we're hearing. It ties in with a hunger. People are seeing that there is something outside of what we currently experience. The drive for productivity, the drive for riches, the drive for all these things which do not satisfy. A while ago, when I preached on being supernaturally supernatural, I spoke from a verse which Jesus used to commission his disciples. And it says that he gave them a commission, but first of all it said he called them to be with him. And I think that's important for us at this season, because it may well be that currently things haven't changed much for you. You may still be going to work. You may be having to work at home. But the rhythm of our life has changed. And there is an opportunity to be with him, to abide in him, for his words to abide in us. You see, at the beginning of lockdown, there was a lot of stuff going around that Shakespeare wrote one of his most significant plays in lockdown, in quarantine. Isaac Newton came up with the theory of gravity. Now, we're not major scientists like Newton. We are not one of the greatest writers in the English language like Shakespeare. But yet there are plenty of people saying around, you can learn a new language, you can learn an instrument, you can learn all this, do that, do the other, make the use of the time in lockdown. Well, actually, it may well be that you're facing the challenges of homeschooling. You may be worried about this virus and your underlying health conditions. You may be under pressure about different things. Please don't be under pressure to do this, to do that, to do the other. The major thing that you need to do is to seek first his kingdom, but to seek first him. Because everything else that we do, whether it's in lockdown or when we come out of lockdown, will come out of our relationship with him. Now is a good time to seek him, to spend time to reflect, to spend time in his presence, and to let him speak his word into our hearts. You don't need any external pressure. Do this, do that, do the other. Be with him. Cultivate friendship with him. Be in his presence. And this is a good time to cultivate that, when a lot of all we saw around us is stripped away. Be in him. I can't think of a more fitting way to close in saying over us the words of that blessing that we heard all those people that we never thought would sing together, singing over our nation, from Numbers chapter 6 verse 24, where it says this: the Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. And the verse after that says, so shall they put my name upon the people of Israel, and I will bless them. And I'm praying that God will put his presence upon all of us in a fresh way. But then at the right time, he will move in our nation in fresh measure, the like of which we have not yet seen. Be prepared, Hope Church. Get ready. Get into his presence and enjoy him. Bless you.